So, good evening, one and all. Myself, Fairoz Basha Sheikh from Guntur offline branch. So, this session we are going to cover the final part of S4 HANA changes. So, in the first part, we have covered the evolution of SAP from the basics and what kind of versions have been introduced and launched, released from SAP, and what were the changes, major changes, technological changes comparatively ECC and S4 HANA. So now in this session, I'm going to cover the configuration part of changes. What are the changes happened in the point of configuration, right? So earlier in the first session, we have covered from the basics to have a clear understanding and a clear overview of the technological changes, right? Then only we'll be able to understand the configuration part of changes also in a decent understanding way, right? So I'm going to start the session. Well, I'm increasing the screen size, have a better visibility. Okay. So yeah, S4 HANA changes compared to ECC from the point of configuration. Okay. So in this document, you will see the changes in basic financial organization structure like company, company code, controlling area, etc. And account payable like vendor creation and vendor integration with business partner from ECC to S4 HANA. You'll see that what are new fields added in S4 HANA and what is the use of that fields and what are the fields are absolute and why these fields are absolute that were used in ECC. Okay. So major changes from the point of financial organization structure and accounts payable and accounts receivables both are integrated now from ECC to S4 HANA. And you'll also see what are new fields added and what are the fields actually absolute or terminated in S4 HANA in order to give a faster user experience. SAP has removed many fields and tables in S4 HANA. Those are also we're going to cover, and some fields actually have been merged and consolidated. Those are also going to cover, right? So firstly, we are going to start from the GL account level. Okay, GL account creation, which the GL master data, which we create in FS00 in ECC. So the T code of FS00 is remains same for ECC and S4 HANA both. Okay, so here in ECC to create cost element, we have two ways. One is manual and the second one is automatic. In ECC, we can create cost element through FS00 GL master edit. Also, we can use the T code KA01 to create cost element. Okay. So I'm going to show the configuration screen. So I'll cover from the beginning. Okay. So here creation of company in ECC. In ECC, there's no any changes happen. Okay. Creation of company, there's no any changes happen in S4 HANA. No changes in this from ECC. Okay. Then we are moving to creation of company code, which we done in OX02 No changes in this from ECC. That means it is same in S4HANA as well as ECC. Okay. So organizational structure is almost same. Then coming to chart of account. So chart of account, we have the T code OB13. Okay. Here controlling integration option is removed because cost element is merged in GL and we need not to create cost element separately. Okay. While we creating the chart of accounts in ECC, we actually give the cost elements controlling integration which is comes in CO. Okay. We give cost account automatic creation of cost elements. Okay. That is eliminated in S4 HANA because why it is eliminated will be covered in GL account type changes. Okay. Because the controlling integration option is removed in cost because it is merged in GL and we need not to create cost element separately. Okay. Then define account group OBD4. Here also no any changes. Coming to field status variant, the T code is OBC4. Here also no any changes comparatively ECC. Fiscal year variant. Creating a fiscal year variant, maintaining fiscal year variant, transaction code is OB29 is remains the same in S4 HANA. Posting period variant, for maintaining posting period variant, the T code is OBB0 is remains the same in S4 HANA. Then here general ledger master data. So from this point there will be some changes we are going to cover actually happened in S4 HANA. Okay. The transaction code is FS00. So in chart of account segment, GL account type field is added because cost element is merged with GL account, and when GL master is created, cost element will be created for P&L account. Okay. So cost element actually the elements which actually affecting the cost. So it is comes under CO. So for CO point of activities, we actually need to do separately. Here in GL account master data, it is now merged. While creating the GL itself, we can create the cost element also. So we have earlier in ECC, we have only two options. That is, one is balance sheet account and another one is P&L account. So if you want to create balance sheet account, then select this option. Okay. In S4 HANA. So non-operating expenses are income. If we want to create only GL account, not cost element, then select this. So we are not going to create any element, cost element for that particular GL. Then we need not to select any other. We just select non-operating expenses or income. Okay, which are not comes under cost element. Then we have third option available in ECC S4 HANA. That is primary cost and revenue. If we want to create P&L account along with cost element, then select this option. Okay. I want to create GL account as P&L also, then I need to select this primary cost and revenue in S4 HANA. The final one is secondary cost. If we want to create secondary cost element, then select this option. Okay. So what are secondary costs and primary costs will be covered in the document. Okay. The document is very clear. You will be understand easily. Okay. And this is how it looks. The FS00 screen in S4 HANA. This is how it looks. Okay. In GL account type, these four options will be there. One is balance sheet account. The second one is non-operating expense, which are doesn't involve any cost element. the third one is primary cost, and the fourth one is secondary cost. Okay. So whereas coming to ECC, what are the options we have? We have in account group only P&L statement account and balance sheet account. These two only we have. For creating cost element, we need to edit cost element. We need to go to this area, click on to this area, and it will redirect you to the T code called KA01. Then you will be able to create cost element. Okay. So the effort is actually reduced significantly. You can directly create the cost element by selecting the GL account type only. That means FI and CO both is merged here. The effort and time, everything is reduced, drastically reduced. So now moving to the part control data field. Okay, in ECC we can see the option of line item display. Okay, what is the use of this line item display? So by highlighting this line item display field, we can able to record everything in a table. So everything will be recorded in the table level data. Okay, FBL1N, FBL5N, FBL3N respectively for GL, vendor and customer master data tables. Okay. So if we forget to give this, we need to make some other configuration to again activate this while creating GL. If we forget this, we need to go for another T code and run one program. Okay. So this work has been reduced in S4HANA. In company code segment, line item display, this field is already activated, and whenever we post document, it will be displayed in line item. That is why this field is not available here. Then moving to clearing specific ledger group. What is this? Can anyone confirm my screen is visible now? You people able to see my screen, right?
Yes, bro.
Yes.
It's
So,
visible, bro.
yeah, the people who are actually not able to see, probably they'll have some network connectivity issue. Okay, just left the call and join again. You will be able to see screen. Okay. Right. So the second is clearing specific ledger group. This field is actually added newly. This is how in S4HANA control data screen will be there, right? So clearing specific ledger group is added. You can use this feature if you perform parallel accounting using the ledger approach and not the account approach. Okay. So when only we are going to perform a ledger approach, we need to activate this. Okay. And clearing and posting specific ledger groups is intended to support you with your closing task. You can use the function for all items that due to parallel accounting are posted to and valuated differently in multiple ledgers, in particular for provisions such as provisions for commission, for rebates, for process risk, or provisions for creating and checking year-end closing. Okay. So provisions for commission, provisions for salary, provisions for rent, rebates, risk, and everything. To maintain such ledgers, we need to activate this clearing specific ledger group T code, this feature. Okay. And this is open item management. So by clicking this, the general ledger master data will be shown. If it has any outstanding balances, it will be highlighted in the table level data. If it has any outstanding balances which are due and overdue. Okay. So these are the changes in control data tab comparatively ECC and S4HANA. Okay. Now we are moving to the another part. So now we are moving in the same screen, the create bank interest tab. Okay, here in ECC this is how it looks, and in S4HANA one field is added here, that is commitment item. Okay, commitment item. Alphanumeric code of the commitment item, if you are creating, changing, displaying, or to which you are assigning budget. Okay, so whenever we are creating any budget for the huge purchases or huge fixed assets or something, in real time end users maintain some budget, so that maintaining budget will be done here directly in commitment item. Okay, so we have covered the GL master data level changes. Okay, so we have come across this. There are now 4 options, right? One is balance sheet and profit and loss account, non-operating expense, primary cost, and secondary cost. Okay. So earlier in ECC, for creating cost elements, there were 2 ways. We have already come across this. Okay. The first one is edit cost element in FS00 screen, and the second way is KA01 transaction code and KA06 transaction codes are useful for creating cost elements in ECC. So now in S4HANA we can directly create cost elements through FS00. Okay. So coming to table view. So for viewing the cost elements table in ECC, we need to go to a transaction code called SE16N, and then we need to run the table name CSKA. The table name is CSKA in ECC to view the cost elements.
Firoj, I am Loknath here.
Yes.
So can you go to the previous screen?
So let me complete first. Finally, you can ask me. So coming to table view in SE16N, CSKA for cost elements. Okay. Now in S4HANA, table view SE16N, the transaction code SE16N remains the same in ECC and S4HANA. Okay. But the table name is changed to SKA CSKA for cost elements display. Okay. And this is how we actually see in this in the previous screen. Okay. And clearing specific ledger, this is also covered. This is how it looks. So now we have covered the GL master data level changes. Now we are moving to the most crucial and important changes part called business partner. Okay. Earlier in ECC, these transaction codes called XK01, FK01 for vendor master data creation, and the transaction code XT01, FT01 for customer master data creation. Okay, there are different transaction codes and different approach and different ways for creating customers as well as vendors. So in S4HANA, both customers and vendor got created with the same transaction code called BP. Okay, the T code is BP. By using this T code, we can create a business partner, can be a person, okay, organization, group of people, or a group of organization in which a company has a business interest. So it means we can create customers, vendors, shareholders, manager, employees, and organization. Everything will be covered in the same T code called business partner, BP. It stands for the acronym is BP. So it is a single point of entry to create, edit, and display the master data for business partners, customer, and vendors. And a business partner consists of general data like name, address, bank information, etc., as well as role specific information. Therefore, customer, vendor, employee data, everything will be in the same T code. So in the control data tab of BP screen, there is an option called BP type. Okay. So in control data tab of BP screen, we have a option called BP type. So here we can select it is whether for creating vendor code for employee to supplier, broker, manager, shareholder, organization, anyone can be created here. Okay. So as per SAP terms, employees also called as vendors. Okay, you people aware of it. Employees also called as vendor. So in S4HANA, this is really flexible to understand who are they. So they are the own organizations, employees and suppliers, broker. Everyone have their own category in BP types. Also in top right of the screen in S4HANA, an option is available which helps in choosing grouping. So here we can select domestic, international vendors or customers. Okay, whether to grouping uh, the partners, business partners, we have an option called grouping. So whether they are domestic, they are considered domestic or international. Okay, so this option will be useful for grouping. So now why business partner? Data redundancy. A person can be a vendor as well as customer. In traditional ERP, we have to we have two objects. With business partner, single object is only required. Multiple transactions to create vendor or customer, we have to go to different transactions. Okay. Then with business partner, single transaction BP is required both objects. Centrally managing master data for business partners, customers and vendors. Customer and vendor integration to business partner. Okay, earlier in ECC, if to perform a scenario called vendor as customer, we need to create both. In vendor master data, we need to create vendor as well as we need to create customer in customer master data. Then there's a procedure to integrate both. Whereas coming to in S4HANA, business partner uh, feature will use the flexibility of creating both in the same object. Okay, this is a major changes, advancements then. Then what are the transactions not available in S4HANA? That means in S4HANA, what are these transaction codes have been terminated. FD01, FD02, FD03, so on to till XK07. These transaction codes have been terminated in SAP S4HANA on-premise edition. Then principles of the business partner BP concept. General data is shared across different roles. BP has a category. Category also can be specified with the same T code. One BP can perform multiple roles. Example, customer and vendor. And one BP can have multiple time dependent addresses with corresponding address. Maintains of multiple relationships to the same BP. Okay. In earlier ECC, if you want to make any amendments or changes to the vendor master data or customer master data, we need to go for a different transaction codes. For vendor, we have XD01 or FD01. Okay. For customer also, we have same other respective T codes. For creating for making any changes or editing, but in BP we can done the same in the same area, same T code. So now what are the BP tables? These are the tables: BP 000, BUT 000, BUT 11001 for business partner master, general data, specific attributes. So likewise, these are the tables. Then these are the line item reports. The old reports such as FBL1N, FBL5N and FAGLL03 still exist along with FBL1H, FBL3H and FBL5H. So in earlier ACC, FBL1N, FBL5N and FBL3N will use to view the display tables for GL master data, vendor master data, vendor transaction data, customer transaction data. So these are still exist in S4HANA along with FBL1H and FBL3H are now added. Okay. So this is about business partner. Now we are moving to the another part, another major change, universal journal. Okay, what is universal journal? So universal journal is having another name called AC doca. Okay, I'm repeating it. Universal journal is nothing but AC doca. AC doca is a single source of truth table. Okay, and let us know what is universal journal. There has been a lot of buzz around the term universal journal and the concept of the single source of truth with the S4HANA Finance ERP. So the universal journal brings together the one separate components of financial accounting and controlling in one place and in one line item table referred to the AC doca. So in ECC we have multiple sources of truth. Truth means the information, the table level information. Okay, to view information related to FI, there are different tables, and to view information related to controlling, we have different tables. Okay, whereas in S4HANA, both FI related and controlling related will be visible in the same source called AC doca. In the legacy system, before S4HANA came into existence, fixed assets, controlling, profitability analysis, material ledger and general ledger all existed as separate components for finance in SAP. This meant multiple sources of truth existed that required huge reconciliation efforts to eliminate data redundancies. Okay, so every aspect has different separate table level sources, multiple table level sources in earlier ECC. So we have multiple sources. Now we have only single source existed. That means reconciliation effort is absolutely reduced and eliminated. Why reconciliation actually required? When we have a different sources for FI and CO, uh, the, the financial analysts need to make reconciliation between these two. So in S4HANA, there's no multiple sources. We have only one single source. That means no need not to reconcile it. The same truths will be appear, the same data will be appear in the single source. Okay. There was about of challenges because the components were structured differently with different fields in ECC. These components also had different capabilities and there was a need to move the data to appropriate table for reporting. And multiple BI extractors were needed to cover the complete truth in BI. Well, BI stands for business intelligence. Earlier it is also called as BW. BW acronym for business warehouse. So in real time there is a team called BI or BW. Earlier BW is there, now BI. So what is the role of BI? BI team actually extracts the long time data which actually required to the end user or consultant level for any management oriented decision makings, to make any statistical reports which they required past 5 years or 7 years. So the major responsibility of BI team is to extract the data. So in ECC, having a multiple sources of truth, BI team also work in multiple sources. They also need to gather the data or extract the data from multiple sources. Then they need to make into one single source. Now that so much your effort is reduced because it has only single source of data for business intelligence team. Okay, and this is how it looks. So what are the accounting documents? The purchases, revenues, payables, receivables, inventory, tax, sales, expenses, everything have respective accounting documents. Every transaction can generate respective accounting documents. So everything will be saved initially in BKPF table, which stands for, which used for header level data. This this chart, this image, which shows for the ECC level. Okay, then it moves into BSEG. BSEG actually for line item data. Okay, so FI and CO, we have different tables: COBK, BSAD, COEP, BSID for CO, BSAK and BSIK for FI, and Fagel Fexit, BSIT, BSAS, BSIS for other ledgers. And this is how it looks in ECC. This is how entire data will be stored in the table in ECC. Now let us see how data will be saved in AC Doka. This is only single source of truth. Everything will be stored in this, which related to FI, CO, material ledger, everything will be other ledgers, everything will be saved in this table. Real time, single source, all ledgers, non-disruptive, integrated planning, faster close, cloud compatible, on-the-fly aggregation, statistical journals, HANA data model column based access, unlimited derivations on accounting table, central finance. The central finance is nothing but FICO in ECC. So all the tables will be stored in table level data will be stored in AC Doka. So how is the universal journal changing finance in SAP? With the single AC Doka line item table, data is presented in a common structure making a comparison easier. So it is the comparison between FI and CO is absolutely easier in AC Doka. So how data will be stored in AC Doka? The header data will be stored in BKPF and the respective item table is AC Doka. Okay. So thereby it's based on single source of truth with no reconciliation needed by design and architecture. So these are the advantages of having AC Doka. Okay. Having universal journal has made business life much easier for users. Of course, it is very easier for users because they need not to approach for different sources. Only single source will be give them the absolute required data which they actually want. And it allows the fast decisions. Okay, the management, the higher level board of directors who are actually responsible and accountable for taking decisions based on the costing and the profits. So they are having much easiest way to take the decisions, early decisions, without wasting the time for the reconciliation between FI and CO. Okay, financial and management accounting picture, for example, by accelerating period end closing activities, though the elimination of tedious reconciliation work. Technically speaking, the universal journal combines the most important fields from these components within a single line item table, which enables the components to read and process the data required for their business process from a single location. And these are also similar advantages of having universal journal as nothing but AC Doka. So the respective item table AC Doka consists of all the fields required for general ledger, asset accounting, and material ledger, etc. So in AC Doka, for every document generation area, there has a field such as asset accounting, general ledger, material ledger, everything. So for every aspect, there is a field in AC Doka. So that is the reason it is a single source. and universal journal contains 6-digit line item numbering, and universal journal contains 23-digit currency fields. So it means the company which exists in the multinations, which they want to see the reports of another country, it supports 23-digit currency fields. Okay, it can maintain up to 23-digit currency fields. The universal journal optimizes the reporting and financial analysis process since no time-consuming reconciliation activities are necessary. The enhanced reporting features include flexible analysis of financial statements. Okay, to prepare financial statements, it is way more flexible. For general ledger accounting, asset accounting, controlling, material ledger, profitability analysis, everything, every financial statement will be done very effortlessly, very effortlessly. The journal entry removes the separation between financial accounting and controlling. Hence, there is no need for any reconciliation between FI and CO, or between FI and general ledger, and also between FI and asset accounting. So it will eliminate the time and efforts. Income statements can be broken down based on any dimensions available in the journal entry. Market segment analysis is possible for any item of the income statement. The income statement is fully reconciled with profitability reports. If any data is entered when a transaction is recorded in the journal, the data is derived automatically. Okay. If any data is entered when a transaction is recorded in the journal, the data is derived automatically. This enables you to analyze data using characteristics from different components. For example, you can create a balance sheet at the segment level. Okay. It helps in making profitability analysis, real-time profitability analysis. So the management decision makers can make their own analysis easily. Market segments are included in journal entries as additional attributes, allowing you to continually analyze profitability rather than having to wait for settlement runs at period close. Okay. For example, when salary costs are posted to a cost center, the corresponding market segment can be derived instantaneously and is immediately available for analysis. Okay. When only the costings are happening, it should be immediately it should be immediately recorded in CO also. So then the decision makers can have the precise data reports, and profitability attributes are provided for each income statement item, ensuring that the profitability data is always reconciled with the income statement. So it is already reconciled, they need not to make reconciliation. It is ensuring the decisions are correct. Market segment fields are filled through derivation of profitability attributes. For example, a posting to cost center derives the product group. Attributes can be enriched by further process such as settlement or allocations. Comparability costs also done. Easier to meet financial reporting requirements. Okay, as we have covered here, the financial statements can be done so easily. It is easier to meet financial reporting requirements. According to the needs and requirements, they can make the financial statement reports. Flexible analysis of financial statements. The same point again coming here. General ledger accounting, asset accounting, controlling related, material ledger related, profitability analysis. So all the respective financial statements can be done very flexibly with clear analysis. Okay. So the journal entry removes the separation between financial accounting and controlling. This point we have covered multiple times. Okay, it eliminating the reconciliation, it eliminating the separation. Okay, so these field is again repeated here. So up to now we have covered universal journal, which is nothing but AC DOCA, which is the single source of truth. So in this field, we have so many changes, so many advancements have been made it in S4HANA, right? Hope you people have got and having a clear understanding. Now we are moving to the part called merging of OLTP and OLAP. In S4HANA, OLTP and OLAP have been merged. Okay, so before knowing this point, merge of OLTP and OLAP, so let us know what is OLAP and what is OLTP. I'll tell you. Replication of data to an OLAP system is not necessary in most cases. Since SAP HANA provides multi-dimensional access to line items almost instantaneously, just to try to understand these lines, and I'll again make you people understand what is OLAP and what is OLTP. So this is the advantage of merging in S4HANA, right? So replication of data to an OLAP system is not necessary in most cases. Since SAP HANA provides multi-dimensional access to line items almost instantaneously, even in cases where data is needed in an OLAP system or OLAP system, the data only has to be extracted from one data source rather than different data sources in each component. Okay, so now let us know what is OLAP. Acronym for OLAP is online analytical processing. Okay, OLAP stands for online analytical processing. It consists of software tools that are used for data analysis, for business decisions, used for offline storage of data, used by business analyst, manager, executive for analysis and reporting purposes. Allows database information extraction from multiple databases. Okay, so OLAP and OLTP are the concepts which available in many software tools and in many other industries also, not just in SAP. So what is OLAP? OLAP is a data which fetch from the different tables, different sources of data, and to make analytical processing. So who are done the analyzing? The business analyst will be done the business analysis. Okay, based on the OLAP data, the business analyst or manager or executives can be able to make the analysis processing. So it is nothing but in SAP terminology, in SAP understanding, OLAP is nothing but the CO decisions. Okay, in CO level, there will be business analyst, there will be business partners and manager executive level, board of director levels. There are many people who are liable to take decisions. Okay, so then they will depend on the OLAP data, which actually records in the CO level. Okay, so it allows the business analyst to take the instantaneous decisions, instantaneous analysis, because the same reason. Now FI and CO both have been merged. So that is the reason this OLAP and OLTP is consolidated into one source. Now let us move to the OLTP. So OLTP stands for online transaction processing. Transaction processing, who are done the transactions in SAP, who are using the in client level, end users will done the transactions. Okay, so it is clearly understands that OLAP is for the people who relates to CO and it is OLTP who relates to end user level. Okay, manages transaction oriented applications on the internet in a three-tier architecture. Okay, now we can understand clearly in three-tier architecture, which is database layer, application layer, presentation layer. Okay, so the end user who posts the transaction in presentation layer, which will be stored in the database layer. Okay, so he is the end user creating the data into the table level, which in OLAP The business analyst can be able to analyze the costing and the profitability. So manages day-to-day transactions of an organization used by the end users such as database administrator, database professionals used for data processing. Now let us move forward to discuss the examples of OLAP and OLTP, and first and foremost examples of OLAP applications. Okay, with the examples we can very easily understand what is OLAP. In finance department, it's used for budgeting, financial decisions, etc. Okay, as I told you earlier, this is comes under CO level. So OLAP level data useful for budgeting financial decisions. It is ETC, not CTC. In sales department, it's used for sales analysis and forecasting. Okay. Likewise, in marketing department, it is used for market analysis, promotion analysis, etc. So for making some statistical planning, some statistical changes, some statistical reports, this OLAP is useful. And also in Netflix, it's used for movies recommendation based on previous watch history. Okay, so what is this example? So every time we open any application or software called Netflix or Amazon Prime, it will recommend you the movies based on your previous watch history. Okay, so it will indicate you that there is a background analysis, there is a background some data processing has been done based on the previous history. Only it will recommends you. So then only that app or software has a great reach. If they're not able to meet your expectation, not able to read your requirements and read your kind of mindset, they cannot reach, they cannot able to succeed. So that's the reason they also make some OLAP analysis. Also similarly in Flipkart, Amazon, they also recommends you based on your previous purchase history or previous search history. And coming to examples of OLTP, in online banking, it's used for checking account balances, that the fund balances, and for purchasing. Okay, and a book online, it's used for adding a book to the shopping cart. This is a transactions. This is one kind of activity in online banking. It's used for checking account balance, that the fund balances, and for purchasing a book online, it's used for adding a book to the shopping cart. In a call center, staff uses OLTP to view and update customers' details. Okay, in call center, generally they use this OLTP for viewing the customer details when they having a call, when they having the telephonic call with the customer. They could see the details of that particular customer, what kind of plan he has. So such details will be done with the help of OLTP. And to book an airline ticket and for sending a text message, in ATM center is used for money withdrawal, transfer, deposits, and enquiries. So this is how OLAP provides the historical data for reporting and planning, and OLTP will tells you the manages day-to-day operations. It uses large and complex queries like aggregation, and it uses simple and standard queries. It uses select query for fetching the data, and it uses insert, delete, and update statement. So OLAP's users are mostly knowledge workers, business analysts, etc. Then an OLTP users used by the end users like clerks and cashiers, database administrator, etc. So these are few more differences between OLAP and OLTP. In this, data is denormalized to improve query performance. In this OLTP, data is stored in 3NF, requires significantly large space. For OLAP, this requires a large space, and it requires relatively smaller space, and backups are rarely needed. Data is backed up regularly. Since it is a day-to-day transaction, it should be backed up regularly. So this is the analysis rarely done. So backups are rarely needed. In this, design changes according to reporting subject Snowflake model based design. Design changes as per the industry requirements. ER model based on design. Okay. So this is about OLAP and OLTP. Now moving to the another part in SLL. The list of tables that were part of the structure and merged with AC Doka. So finally, the most important point is these both related transaction and data, everything is now storing in AC Doka table in S4HANA. Okay, so that is why this concept actually merged in S4HANA. Earlier in ECC, this OLAP and OLTP will be done separately. It's a background work, technical background work. So now in S4HANA, it is merged because it has single source of truth again, AC Doka. Okay. What are the index tables removed in S4HANA? BSIS, BSAS, BSID until Fluggle BSAS. These are the index tables removed in S4HANA, and aggregate tables also removed, GLT02, COSIP, and these tables have removed Fluggle, Flexa, COEP, ANEP, ANEA, ANLC, ANLP, and MLIT. So in ECC we have numerous number of tables, which actually creates a lot confusion. So everything, almost the majority number of tables actually terminated in S4HANA, and it is making so easier for the users as well as the business analysts and the decision makers. Now coming to material ledger. Contents of MLIT, MLPP, MLPPF, so on till MLHDD. Now data is stored in BKPF. Respective item table AC Doka consists of all the fields required for general ledger accounting and material ledger accounting. This point is actually we have covered. These also we have covered. It is repeated in the document, which need to remove. Enhanced reporting, of course, it is enhanced reporting. So this is about the universal journal and OLAP and OLTP concepts, which in S4HANA, from the point of S4HANA. So now we are moving to the final part, which is asset accounting. Asset accounting changes in S4HANA. So what are the changes? So here it doesn't have many changes in the point of configuration or maintaining the asset accounting. For every asset, we need to have a respective particular account. So that is actually called asset accounting. So almost the same, it remains the same compared with ECC and S4HANA, what is the accounting man. But in depreciation run, we have the major changes actually have been made. The changes have been made to the depreciation area. Okay. This depreciation. So the T code for depreciation run is AFAB for calculating depreciation. Indeed, it remains the same in ECC and S4HANA. T code is same. So here which we have the methods of depreciation posting run have been removed. S4HANA, which are planned, unplanned, repeat, restart. In ECC we have these four type of depreciation methods. Okay, for planned is it is nothing but the standard depreciation run, and unplanned is nothing but a sudden retirement of the account, a sudden retirement of the asset due to many reasons. It can be the accidents, it can be any fire accidents, so anything can be possible. So then they go for unplanned. And repeat. So repeat and restart generally used for the incorrect depreciation. So all four have been removed in S4HANA. Okay, planned, unplanned, repeat and restart have been removed in S4HANA. And here in S4HANA, they have introduced a new concept called accounting principles. Okay, so these are removed and accounting principles have been introduced to run the depreciation. So what are the accounting principles? So accounting principles are GAAP, LOCL, IFRS and tax. Okay, GAAP generally stands for generally accepted accounting principle, or LOCS. LOCS is locally accepted accounting principles, and either IFRS. IFRS stands for International Financial Reporting Standards, and finally the tax principle. So in S4HANA, depreciation run will be done in these following, by these ways. One is GAAP, one is local, one is IFRS, and the final one is tax. Okay, these are removed: planned, unplanned, repeat, restart. So to view the planned run table, we execute this program, and also moving to the depreciation area. Book depreciation, costing depreciation, tax depreciation, group depreciation. We have come across all four depreciation keys in the asset accounting of ECC. Okay, so in ECC, book depreciation will be the ultimate. It is the leading ledger. So all these costing, tax, group depreciation will be depends on the book depreciation only. Finally, it depends on the book depreciation only. So these only for the making comparison reports or to make the changes. This is only for the comparison. So finally, book depreciation only considerable for calculating the depreciation. How much percentage it is been depreciating month by month and year by year. Okay, we have respective the depreciation for costing. Costing point of view, there is one depreciation. Tax, so the country which the company is located have the judicial taxes. Based on that, we calculate tax depreciation, and one group depreciation also. But finally, we consider only book depreciation in ECC. Okay, in ECC. But whereas coming to S4HANA, all these four are real depreciation. All these will be considerable. Okay, in ECC, book depreciation is the leading ledger, which means it is the real method to keeping in records. By this method only, we'll make the financial statements. Okay, these are all only for the comparison. And in S4HANA, all the methods of depreciations are real. Book depreciation, cost and tax depreciation, group depreciation, all these methods are considerable and these are real. So everything will be real. So in ECC, we have a depreciation way to calculate depreciation. We have a method called delta depreciation. So delta depreciation is equal to book depreciation minus costing depreciation. Okay. Generally, we calculate based on the costing depreciation. Book depreciation minus costing depreciation is equal to delta depreciation in ECC. So the difference amount should be adjusted through one T code called ASKB in ECC. Okay. So now this delta depreciation concept is terminated in S4HANA, which actually there in SEC. Okay. This concept called delta depreciation is terminated in S4HANA. In S4HANA, we need to give based on accounting principle. While we running the depreciation run, it will ask you for the total log or detailed log. If you select for the total log, it will took the complete entire assets which exist in the company. It will consider every asset. Okay. Or if you select detailed log, it will only limited for the 1000 assets. In S4HANA, while running the depreciation, the T code is same AFAB, It will ask you for total log or detail log. This option is introduced in S4HANA, right? If it is detail log, only limited to the 1000 assets. If it is total log, and complete total assets will be considered. Total assets will be take the same depreciation run. Now, what we do if the depreciation run is incorrect, we have followed or we have maintained the incorrect depreciation key or incorrect depreciation method. So what we need to do versus ECC and S4HANA. In ECC, to correct the wrongly calculated depreciation, we use restart and need to open the period of previous month or the particular period. The T code is AFAR for recalculated depreciation, and the T code AW01N for Asset Explorer. So now in S4HANA, to recalculate T code to recalculate the incorrect depreciation, the T code is same AFAR. In that, need to specify company code, fiscal year, posting period, and choose specific asset. This feature actually added. Here we can choose a specific asset which has incorrect calculation and execute it to correct it. Okay, we can make the changes, or we can correct the incorrect calculated asset by using this method, by following this method. Now let's move to the data structure changes in S4HANA asset accounting. So how data structure is nothing but the how data is actually storing in the database, in the tables. The data of ANEP, ANEA, ANLP, ANLC, which are the table names, ANEP, ANEA, ANLP, ANLC, are now stored in the table called AC Doka. Okay, and only ANEK data table is now storing in BKPF. This is how the data structure. So what are the tables removed in S4HANA? The above specified tables, the same tables, ANEK, ANEP, ANEA, ANLP, ANLC, all these tables have been removed because all these tables data now storing in AC Doka. Then what is the need of keeping these tables? That is the reason in S4HANA we cannot see these tables. Okay, but we have an option to view these tables in S4HANA. Okay, by following this T code in same SE16N. Just give FAAV underscore the respective table name and execute it. We can able to view it, but we cannot do anything there. So example, FAAV underscore ANEK, we need to give the table name. Okay, so all the asset related data is now storing in AC Doka table. Coming to reconciliation, as we have already covered this point, FI to AA reconciliation is also terminated in S4HANA because everything storing in the single source of truth. So now in S4HANA it is integrated. So that's all about the complete entire changes from starting enterprise structure to till asset accounting. These are the changes have been made in S4HANA. In fact, it is like an ocean to cover. The S4HANA topic is a vast topic, but being an ECC trainee, this is the decent enough knowledge. Okay, this is enough from the point of interview. We cannot possess all complete, but in coming futures to have the sustainability in the SAP field, it is recommends you to learn complete S4HANA because this is the future. Majority of the companies have now in their own plans to move to S4HANA. So this is about the complete changes. So now I am done with the S4HANA changes, the first part and the final part.
Super explanation, bro. Keep it up.
Thank you so much.
Nice explanation, Mr. Bharat.
Thank you. I'm stopping the record now.